So in this video, we are going to see about smallest KMP problem. Fine. So the question says that chef has a string S and another string P called pattern. He wants to find the pattern in S, but that might be impossible. Therefore, he is willing to reorder the characters in S such a way that P occurs in the resultant string as a substring. Fine. Since the problem was too hard for chef, he decided to ask you, can you find the lexicographically smallest anagram of S such that P is a substring? Okay, we need to find the smallest, lexicographically smallest anagram of S such that P is a substring of S. Fine. What is the meaning of this is, we need to change the characters of S in such a way that P becomes a substring of S, and that is lexicographically smallest. Now, for example, if this is SUPAHOTBOY and BOHOTY, fine. So this is my P is my pattern and S is the string. We need to modify the characters. We need to move the characters of S in such a way that P becomes the substring of S, fine, and whatever the final string we get should be lexicographically smallest, fine. So in this case, we get the substring as a string as ABOHOTYPSU, fine. So this is an anagram of S. This is an anagram of S. We are changing the characters, position of characters in S, fine, and we are getting this. And you can see here P is a substring of this S. P is a substring of this S, and this is lexicographically smallest, fine. What do I mean? I hope you know what is lexicographically smallest means. So if we have AB and if we have BC, see, character by character it is matched. Since the first character A is less than B, we will say that AB is lexicographically smaller than BC. If we have AB and AACB, first characters are same, the second character is same, the third character A is smaller than C. So we will say AAB is smaller than AACB. Okay, so that is lexicographically smaller. Fine. So now we need to find this particular lexicographically smallest anagram such that P is a substring. Fine. Now how we will do that part? So it is by seeing the test cases, an approach directly comes to mind. Fine. If we just see the test cases, the first test case AKRA. Fine. If we see this, and the pattern that is given to us is AKA. Fine. And the pattern here is AKA. Okay. Now we need to find such a lexicographically smallest string anagram of this, fine, such that the pattern AKA occurs in it. Now if this pattern was not given to us and they are asking for the smallest anagram, lexicographically smallest anagram, that means they are asking for the sorted string. So if we just sort the first string, we will get A, this string, fine. This is the smallest lexicographically smallest anagram of this S, fine, the sorted string. Now we have a pattern AKA. Now we need to move the characters of this particular string such that we get AKA, and the final string should be lexicographically smallest. So instead of moving the characters, we already have this. We definitely know that 2A and K is definitely present here. That is given in the question itself. Okay. So this is just a substring. We can just insert this substring at its correct position. Fine. Instead of moving the characters, we will just insert this substring at its correct position. We just need to find its correct position. Fine. Obviously, we cannot increase or decrease the number of characters present in the string. So what we will be doing is, there are two A's present, so we will just delete two A's from here and a K from here. Fine. If we will remove it, so the final string we get is AAEE KMNNRY, fine, and we get AKA here. Okay. Now once we do this part here, this part, now we need to find what will be the position of AK. Where should I insert this particular substring? That's it, the correct position of the substring. How can we know that? What should be the correct position of the substring to be inserted? Okay. So if I just insert it randomly, let's say I insert it here AAEE AKA, okay, AKA, then KMNNRY. If I insert it randomly, fine. if I write it correctly, AA, AKA, EE, KM, NNRY. So how do we compare? See, A is equal, A is equal. Now E is smaller than, A is greater than A. That means this string is more lexicographically smaller than this string. The answer should have been this. We cannot just randomly put it. Okay. So how can we actually get here? It's very simple, that we just need to compare the first character. Okay. This first character decides what will be the position of P as a substring in A. Where should I insert this position P in S? Okay, this position, this first character decides it. Okay, how it decides it? We will just compare this P of 0 with S of I. Okay, we'll just compare it. The simple comparison. P of 0 with S of I. Then A is equal to A. Let's suppose we do not know right now what to do. A is equal to A. A is less than E. So definitely, if A is less than E, definitely this particular string should come before E, before an appearance of E, because A is less than E. This should be there. Why? Because if it is not coming, if it is coming after E, so we can write A. I do not need to check for the here only. We can see that A is smaller than E. That's why I am checking the first character. The first character of P needs to be matched. Since A is smaller than E, definitely this whole substring will come before in the lexicographically smallest anagram. So I will just simply insert this particular substring here and we get this as the answer. Correct? Like this. See here. AA and insert AKA here. Then the whole string will be same, because first of all we have already sorted it, so it is already lexicographically smaller. Fine. Now I need to move the characters of this lexicographically smaller string such that AKA becomes a substring. So instead of moving the characters, what we are doing is we know that these characters are present in the string. So using this as substring, we are just finding this substring's correct position. Okay. Once we find this substring correct position, we are inserting that substring here. Okay. And all the characters that are appearing here, we are just removing them according to their frequencies. Now I found its correct position. So if my P naught, what I'm thinking here is, if my P naught is less than my S of I, if I get this, if my P naught is less than an S of I of S character, then before that I will definitely insert. This is what I got from this particular test case. We need to think this through for many test cases, guys, in this question. This is just one test case. Let's take another. Let's take the second sample test. SUPAHOTBOY, and P that we are getting is BOHOTY. Fine. So let's sort, and afterwards we need to remove the characters which are occurring here and the same frequency which are occurring here. So B is occurring, so I will just remove it before only. So B is occurring, B, remove it. O is occurring one time, H is occurring, O is occurring one more time, T is occurring, and Y is occurring. Okay. So instead of these characters, now what are the characters I got? I got SUPA. Now sort this, we get APSU. Fine. And the P is BOHOTY. Fine. Now I need to find the correct position of this substring so that we can insert it here. Fine. So what we are going to do, just compare. Is A greater than B? No, A is smaller than B. So definitely in my smallest lexicographical substring, A will come before this. Now compare B with P. P is greater than B. And this is already sorted. If P is greater than B, then S is also greater than B, U is also greater than B. Correct? So if P is greater than B, that means before P only this will definitely insert. Because if this is not the case, if I insert it here, okay, and before P if I insert it, it will be something like this. Fine. So A is fine, but P is greater than B. Here we are definitely seeing that lexicographically smaller is this string. Therefore, if B is smaller than P, therefore before only this whole string will insert, and we will get ABOHOTYPSU. Fine. So character by character it is matched lexicographically, and this is my pet P. Okay. So instead of moving, we are finding the correct position of P inside our string that we have got by performing two steps. The first one is, okay, remove the characters from S that are occurring in P. according to their frequencies. Okay. Second, sort S. Once these two steps are done, afterwards we just need to compare my first character, that is P0, with SO5. But till now we have just got two cases, that if P0 is less than SO5, just one case, if P0 is less than SO5 I will insert. Fine. There was one more case, that if P0 is equal to SO5. So if P0 is equal to SO5, for this particular case what we did is we moved forward till we find P0 is less than SO5. Okay, we just move forward till we find something that is less than SO5. Okay, there can be a case when P0 is greater than SO5. For example, let's take a small example. So if we have string as AAAZ, fine, and it is ZE. So what are the steps? Z will Z and A EZ. Okay, so Z will Z cancelled and E will get cancelled. Fine. So Z and E will get cancelled. Afterwards we get a string as AAA. After sorting this, we get AAA, and the pattern we get is ZE. Fine. Now see, all the characters of I is actually smaller than P0. So P0 is actually always greater than SO5. So in this particular scenarios, what we can do, we can simply add P0 at the end to get the answer. This is a very simple case to handle. If P0 is greater than SO5 throughout the string, if it is greater, there is not a single case where P0 was less than SO5. So if this is the case, that throughout the string it is greater, the value of P0, then it will be inserted at the end. Its correct position will be at the end. Fine. So using these cases we found this fine, and it looks fine. You code it, but it will not get accepted. Okay, so let's test for this case what is happening here. So first let's follow the steps. I already followed once. Let's follow the steps. That there are two D's, so just cancel the D. Then a, so cancel a. G, remove a G. H, remove a H. F, remove a F. A, remove a A. The remaining string sorted. So if we sort the remaining string, we get A, B, C, C, D, D, and the pattern here is D, D, A, G, H, F, A. Okay. Now here in this particular scenario, let's follow the same process that we have already know. We compare the P0 with SO5. It is A is smaller, so no, B is smaller, C is smaller, C is smaller, and we get here that AI is this P of 0 is equal to SO5. Now previously what we were doing was we were moving forward, and if we move forward we will insert this whole string at the end. So A, B, C, C, D, 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 A, G, H, F, A. Fine, this will be the output. But if you think logically, means there is no need to think in a means what you say that you should know the code. If you just think that given this string and this pattern, and if I want to know the lexicographically smallest string, so what will be the lexicographically smallest string? Will this be the lexicographically smallest string? Okay, so if you just see, it is A, B, C, C, and after C I can insert D, D, A, G, H, F, A, and then finally the remaining D, D. So after C we can insert. After C, if I do that, it is A, B, C, C, D, D. Here A is smaller than D. So this string is actually lexicographically smaller than this string that we got as the answer by our previous logic. Fine. So how to tackle this case now? Now we know that if P0 is less than SO5, then it's fine. We know the answer. If P0 is greater than SO5, then it's also fine. We know the answer. But what if P0 is equal to SO5? Now here we found that there are two cases that we can in some case after we traverse the whole equal to, then at the end we insert. In the first test case, for example, here before it is, if we found equal to before that, and in one of the cases it was after that. So what we can do to handle such case? So means instead of thinking a lot, what we can do is do both. That let's have two strings, answer and answer 1, and in answer we will insert it before, okay, and in answer 1 we will insert it after. Fine, and we can just again compare which is lexicographically smaller. If answer is less than answer 1, then that is the answer, means that will be printing. Fine, this we can do. That if they are equal, then there are two cases: either insert it before it, or insert after the equal to. Okay, just that we were already doing just continue that. For that we will get this string as the answer. There is one more step added to get this particular string, the second string, that before, as soon as we get equal to, we first insert the substring, the p, fine, after c. So now we get two answers and we will just compare them to know which is smaller so that we can print the output. Okay, so here now we have three total cases, that p naught is less than si, p naught is greater than si, and p naught is equal to si. Okay, using these three cases we will get our a position of the string, that we have a position of p that we need to insert. Fine. Okay, now what are the total steps that we have seen? So first is remove characters. Fine. So how we can do this? There are multiple ways. What I have done is I have created a frequency array for s and a frequency array of p. Fine. Then using frequency, now what I have done is frequency array of s minus frequency of p for each character. Frequency of I minus frequency p of I. Okay. So all the elements that are present in p now are subtracted from s. Now the second thing was sorting. So instead of using any sort function, I have just used this frequency of s array. Fine. Using this, I have created a new string and I inserted the elements using the frequencies that will be automatically sorted. I will just show you if you are confused in this step. Now after this is over, now we have these three cases of p naught is less than, p naught is greater than, or p naught is equal to. According to that, using the substring function, okay, we can append the required strings at its correct positions. Now before moving here, I think there can be a confusion how these two steps are working. So let me just take an example to explain you. Okay, so to explain that point, I have taken this example. Okay, so this is frequency of s and this is frequency of p. I hope you know what a frequency array is. Fine. So these are the indexes 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there is no element. Then at index 7 we have h. At index 16 we have 0, and so on. Fine. Now running a loop from 0 to 26. So a is 0, b is 1. H will be 6 because starting from 0, and O is 15. Similarly here it is 0, 6, 15, and so on. So starting with I equals to 0, what we are doing? Frequency of s of I minus the frequency of p of I. Fine. So for a, there is no element in a, so it remains as it is. For b, yes, there is an element. So s is 1, 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So this becomes 0. H becomes 0. O becomes 0. P remains as it is, S remains as it is, T becomes 0, 1 minus 1. Now Y becomes 0, U remains as it is. So now in my frequency of S array, A is 1 time, P is 1 time, S is 1 time, and U is 1 time. And if I just run a loop from 0 to 25 on my frequency S, fine. And if A is 1 time, what I am doing then, I am inserting str plus equals to A, means the character represented by the index I. Okay, so A will be attached, and P will be appended 1 time, S will be appended 1 time, and U will be appended 1 time. And this is already sorted, indexes are already sorted, so we get a sorted string. Fine. And if suppose if P is 3 times, suppose for an example, if P is 3 times, we just need to run a loop that we need to append P 3 times. The number of times it is present here, we need to append that many times. Okay, so we get a sorted string. I will just show you that part in the implementation also. Now after we do this, then comes these three conditions that we need to check, and using the substring function get placements right. Okay, these three conditions. Fine. So I will just show you in the implementation directly. Fine. Let's just see the implementation. Taking T as the input, running a test case loop, taking S and P as the input, creating our frequencies array, frequency of S and frequency of P. Fine. Then subtracting that I have just shown you. Frequency of S equals to frequency of S minus frequency of P. Fine. Then I am creating this sorted string using the frequencies. Okay. So if int k equals to 0, k less than 26, how many times that character is occurring, that many times I am appending that character into the string. The number of times that character is occurring, the number of frequency of that particular character, that many times the string in the string the character is appended, less than the frequency of the character, 0 to frequency of the character. Fine. Now two strings, answer 1 and answer 2, because there are two cases for the equal to, so there are two strings. Fine. Now what we are doing is we have a flag variable and here, and we have a flag 1 variable. Fine. I will just tell you their usage. So we are just simply running a loop from 0 to str because we need to compare with p0. So if p0 is less than str, if this is the case, then what we are doing is we are directly appending, okay, from the string from 0 to I and p. Okay, so what is happening here? Let's see. So here what is happening now is we have seen this example of ak. Fine. So see this, p naught is a is less than e. So what I am doing is I am appending substring of str till this position, that is aa, with this aka. Okay, so a substring of this str plus p. Fine. So it is a, k, and so on. So it is 0, 1, 2 and aka. Fine, that is nothing but p. So at index 2 what we are getting is that e is greater than a, that means p naught is smaller than this. So my position is before this index 2. So I'm getting this substring and I'm appending this substring with this substring to get total aka, because that we need. Okay, after aa we need aka. So I'm getting this particular substring using this substring function. Fine, and then appending it with aka. Okay, and I'm making flag equals to 1 because we do not need to do now. Once we append it, now only thing that is left is to append the remaining string to this particular string. The remaining string from this substring I need to append to after this. That is the only thing left. So I do not need to check this condition again. Therefore flag equals to 1. So if flag equals to 1, this condition will not be, this condition will be even checked, but it will never come inside. Fine. What is j equals to I? Because I need to append the remaining string. That is why j equals to I. So I will just append from j to string length. From j to string length I will append after this, after the loop ends. Fine. Now this was when p naught is less than stri. What if p naught is equal to stri? In that particular scenario, what we are doing is we are getting the answer 1. Okay, we are getting answer 1. So what is the answer 1 here? Answer 1 is nothing but there are two cases, correct? So this is handling that one of the case and this is handling the other case. Fine. What are the two cases? The two cases when we have seen this was, the first case is we go to our normal procedure. This case, that what we were already doing, we do this. See, as soon as we find that p naught is less than stri, okay, p naught is less than s of I, we insert. This was the first case. So this p naught is less than s of I, this is handling that case, this case. There is one more case, that is before we need to insert. If p naught is equal, then there is one more case that before we need to insert. So this is handling the second case. Okay, so now we have two cases, this case and this case. Fine. Okay, in both the cases, once we get the answer strings, we need to append the remaining string as it is in both the cases. Okay, so this is what we are doing finally here in the last step. Okay, now here what we are doing is, if answer is less than answer 1, so in the final string answer plus the remaining string that was remaining. Fine. If answer 1 is less than answer, then final equals to answer 1 plus the remaining string. I told you we need to append the remaining string. Fine. So in this we append, in this particular example we get a, b, c, c, then a, then d, d, a, g, f, a. But this dd is still remaining. Now here we have inserted this dd is still remaining, so that is nothing but the remaining string. Fine. This is the case when flag 1 is equals to 1 and flag equals to 1. That means both the conditions are satisfying in a particular example. But there are examples that we have just seen. We have seen this example, correct? In this, both the conditions will not satisfy. In this example, both conditions will not satisfy. The condition will be p naught is greater than s of I, that we have already discussed. There are three conditions. Okay, so in this example there will be third condition. So third condition is direct, that we have just assigned string to append p at the end. So this is our else direct condition. If p naught is greater than s of I. If this is not true, this is not true, then definitely this is the answer. Fine. Now if any one of them is true, okay, any one of them is true, like we have seen the second about is this example. Now in this particular example, only this particular thing is true. Fine. So therefore only flag 1 is true, then we get final string as this. Now there can be an example where only equal to is true. So in this case, this is that particular, to handle that particular case, and else is nothing but both of them are not true. That means we do not get equal to, we do not get less than, we get greater than, p not greater than. So that is the last case, and finally we are printing the final string. Fine. So this is the implementation for this particular question. This particular thing of frequencies and sorting, you can do it on your own. You can use the inbuilt functions. I've just used it, tried to use as minimum as inbuilt functions as possible here. Fine. So that's why I'm using the frequency. Now here I'm using the inbuilt function of a substring. Fine. Substring and length, just common functions. Okay. And then getting the final answer. Fine. So this is the implementation for smallest KMP, and this is the cases that we need to handle in this particular question. Thank you.